Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back.
I'm really excited today because the brand new Vivo X Fold 6 has finally arrived. The version I have is called Midnight, and I have to say, that's such a cool name. It really captures the feeling of a deep, dark night. Even though we've already seen plenty of leaked photos online, seeing it in person is a completely different experience. It's basically black with a striped finish, and I couldn't wait to check it out for myself. As you can see, there's also a blue version available, along with another color option called Salt Paste White.
A quick shout to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Maiky from Tech Maiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out our exciting tech content.
All right, let's get straight into the unboxing. Wow, there it is. That was a surprisingly smooth unboxing experience. Nice and smooth. I have to admit, this phone looks really good. The texture feels premium and it's impressively lightweight too. Take a closer look at the back. The striped pattern is actually pretty unique. The lines are more spread out in the center and gradually become denser as they move toward the edges. It's an interesting design. What do you guys think? Personally, I like it. It's understated without being boring, giving it a refined appearance that's perfect for someone who prefers a subtle look but still appreciates good design. It feels elegant, mature, and well-balanced. The black and white versions use a multi-fiber material, making them lighter than the blue model. Honestly, it looks even better than I expected. Now I can't wait to check out the cameras. Wow, that camera module really stands out. Both the main camera and the periscope telephoto camera have received upgrades this time. We'll dive into the image quality a little later, but first, let's power it on. After setting everything up, you'll notice that it still uses a side-mounted fingerprint scanner. Actually, I've talked about this before. If manufacturers want to make foldable phones even thinner and lighter, there are really only two practical options: facial recognition or a side-mounted fingerprint sensor. Technologies like ultrasonic in-display fingerprint readers require extra hardware modules, which makes achieving an ultra-thin design much more difficult. Now let's briefly talk about the displays. The inner screen uses Samsung's M14 panel, which has already proven itself on the iQOO 15, so there's really nothing to worry about. The outer display comes from BOE. In other words, Vivo has chosen flagship-level display technology for both screens, so the overall specifications are excellent. Does it support wireless charging? Absolutely. It comes with 80-watt wired charging and 40-watt wireless charging, along with a massive 7,000 mAh battery, so it's definitely loaded with premium features. When it comes to a large foldable phone like this, what's the feature you care about most? Is it how thin and light it is? These days, flagship foldables are already pushing the limits of slim and lightweight designs. In everyday use, though, the differences between competing models are actually quite small. In terms of comfort, though, I think the X Fold 6 feels smoother overall. The corners are more rounded, the edges are softer, and even the hinge area feels less noticeable when you're holding it. Left-handed users will probably appreciate that improvement even more. But that's only part of the story. Performance and battery life are just as important. This model is powered by the Dimensity 9500 Super Edition, paired with a huge 7,000 mAh battery. It also supports 80-watt wired charging and 40-watt wireless charging, allowing it to go from empty to full in under an hour. As for battery life, both the inner and outer displays perform very well. During testing, the larger inner display delivered nearly 8 hours of screen-on time. If you split your usage between both screens, getting well over 8 hours of total screen-on time is not difficult at all. In daily use, the X Fold 6 can comfortably last an entire day. Now let's talk about performance. Everyone knows foldable phones usually can't match traditional flagship phones when it comes to sustained gaming performance. That's simply the nature of the design. However, with the Dimensity 9500 Super Edition inside, unless you're an extremely demanding gamer, it handles everyday games without any issues. But that's still not the biggest highlight. This time, the camera system has received some major upgrades. The main camera now features a 200-megapixel sensor, and the telephoto camera has been upgraded to the YST602 sensor. Overall, camera hardware has improved significantly, and the upgraded image stabilization makes an obvious difference in real-world photography. One of the best things about a foldable phone is that when you unfold it, the external display can be used as a live preview. That means you can record vlogs or take selfies using the rear main camera or ultra-wide camera instead of relying on the front camera, giving you much better image quality. There's another feature I really like. When you're taking pictures of someone else, they can see themselves on the outer display while you're shooting. If the photo doesn't turn out well, it's definitely not your fault. You're just the person pressing the shutter button. So, what do you think about the camera results? I'll show you some sample photos and you can let me know your opinion. If you had to rate them out of 5, what score would you give? Oh, and one more interesting feature. The Vivo X Fold 6 can be paired with a dedicated phone case that allows you to attach an external telescope, instantly transforming the phone into a viewing scope. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that special case before filming this video, but I'll definitely test it in a future video. Still, none of those features are the biggest reason to buy a foldable phone. The real advantage is the large display itself and everything that comes with it. Starting with hardware, there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Vivo has used flagship quality display materials across the board. Personally, I find both screens extremely comfortable for daily use, and I'm not someone who's overly picky about display quality. The outer display uses BOE's Q11 panel, while the inner display features Samsung's M14 panel. Both are flagship grade. They maintain the same 424 ppi pixel density, so visuals remain consistent whether you're using the phone folded or unfolded. Peak brightness reaches up to 5,000 nits on both displays, and the minimum brightness can be reduced to an extremely low level, making nighttime gaming and reading much more comfortable on your eyes. Now let's move on to software experience. In my opinion, the biggest upgrade and innovation on the Vivo X Fold 6 isn't the hardware, it's the brand new interaction system. Over the years, Vivo has evolved from the original Parallel World to last year's Atomic Workbench and now to the new Parallel Workbench. The previous Atomic Workbench worked in a serial way, meaning even though multiple windows could remain open, you could only actively operate one of the 4 task windows at any given time.
Switching between apps is incredibly easy. Just tap the one you want to use and you're instantly there. It feels quick and seamless. The new Parallel Workbench takes multitasking even further by allowing you to run multiple apps at the same time, up to insert value here. It even supports running 4 games simultaneously. So if you somehow had 4 hands, you could actually play 4 games all at once. Activating it is super simple. While you're inside any app, swipe up with 3 fingers to enter split screen mode. If you're already using 2 apps side by side, another 3-finger swipe expands it into a 3-way split screen. Swipe up once more and it divides the display again. For my testing, 4 split windows seems to be the maximum. Once you're in 4-way split screen mode, you can drag the center divider to change the horizontal layout, while the top and bottom dividers let you adjust both the horizontal and vertical proportions. Even better, if you drag the corner of any window, you can smoothly resize every app on the screen. Just look at how fluid that animation is. Isn't that satisfying? It feels incredibly polished. Now, let's say you're playing a game. Simply drag that game window down to the bottom of the display. If you move it toward the left, it instantly rearranges everything into a top and bottom layout, automatically pushing the other 3 apps to the upper section. That gives your game much more room while still keeping the other apps open.
But what if those 3 apps are still taking up too much space even though you don't want to close them? There's another clever feature. Simply drag the corner of the main app toward the edge of the display to activate what's called focus mode. The other 3 apps slide neatly off screen, leaving the current app with the maximum amount of display space. That's seriously convenient. Whenever you need those hidden apps again, just tap the small edge where they're tucked away and they'll smoothly slide back into view. I also noticed that each hidden app keeps its own icon visible at the edge of the screen, so you always know exactly which app is waiting there. That's a really thoughtful design detail. Now, you might be wondering, who actually uses 4 apps on the screen at the same time? Isn't this just adding features for the sake of adding features? Honestly, I asked myself the exact same question, but after thinking about it, I realized something. Innovation usually comes before practicality. New ideas have to exist first before people fully discover how useful they are. Take Vivo's large-screen multitasking system as an example. Most people probably won't use 4 apps together every day. 2 or 3 apps at once is much more common. Vivo has simply raised the limit to 4, so whenever you actually need it, the capability is already there. And that's a good thing. In fact, consumers often have the same mindset when it comes to technology. I might never use this feature, but I still want the device to have it. So going back to the question of who would actually use 4 split-screen apps, I don't think Vivo is trying to create demand. Instead, they're preparing for situations where that demand naturally appears. From my own experience, the biggest advantage of multi-window mode is being able to keep one important app visible at all times, while still accessing everything else without interrupting your workflow. For example, if you play several games every day, you can combine 3 of them into a single desktop shortcut. One tap launches everything together. Then it's simply tap, swipe, and switch between them. Farming stamina and completing daily missions becomes much more efficient. If one game requires your full attention, simply place it at the bottom while the other 2 continue running above it. It works surprisingly well. Another great example is video watching. Nobody likes having their video interrupted by messages or switching between apps. Just keep your video on the top portion of the screen, then place WeChat underneath it along with WPS or your Notes app. You can chat, take notes, or work without affecting your viewing experience at all. After using this phone for about a week, I also discovered another feature that turned out to be incredibly useful: cross-platform drag and drop. Especially inside the Atomic Workbench, you can have your photo gallery, browser, small v, and your document all open together. Whenever you come across something you're unsure about, simply ask small v. Once you get the answer, you can directly select the content and drag it straight into your document. The same applies to photos and videos from your gallery, or text and images from Weibo. Just long press and drag them into your document. It's incredibly efficient for writing articles or editing video scripts. This is exactly where a large screen device really shines. Multitasking feels effortless, and that's the real appeal of a foldable display. There are plenty of other situations where it becomes useful as well. For example, while studying, you can have a book open, play a learning video, keep small v ready for questions, and leave a note-taking app open at the same time. If you don't understand something, simply ask small v. If you find useful information, just copy it directly into your notes. The whole process feels smooth and natural. Another thing worth mentioning is Vivo's ecosystem. Its cross-platform connectivity has become extremely complete. Whether you're using a Windows PC or a Mac, your notes can stay synchronized in real time. Later, if you want to continue editing or organizing everything on your computer, all your content is already there waiting for you. It's a very convenient workflow. Of course, after using the phone for a while, I did notice a few small issues. Since I received this review unit before launch, it's likely running an early software version. Because of that, the large screen interface doesn't always feel fully optimized yet. When I move quickly between apps, I occasionally notice a little bit of lag. That said, I fully expect Vivo to release a major software update once the phone officially launches, so this should improve over time. I do have one small suggestion though. Right now, the persistent dock at the bottom is simply a plain white bar, and personally, I don't think it looks very attractive.
I think the design team could take some inspiration from the persistent dock on macOS, which has a much cleaner appearance. Thankfully, Vivo also gives users a choice. If you don't like seeing the dock all the time, simply press and hold the empty area on either side of it to hide it. Whenever you need it back, just long press again and it reappears instantly.
Overall, though, the strengths easily outweigh the weaknesses. Most of the issues I noticed are software-related, and they're fairly minor. As long as Vivo continues refining and optimizing the software through future updates, I don't think there'll be a major concern. So yes, this phone definitely gets a big thumbs up from me. The features that genuinely improve productivity are the ones I found most valuable, and I think they're exactly the kind of innovations the industry needs. Progress comes from being willing to try new ideas, and I wouldn't be surprised if many of these features eventually make their way to tablets as well. With the Vivo X Fold 6, I'd say Vivo has already achieved an impressively high standard. Now let's move on to another topic that has become impossible to ignore these days: AI. When it comes to combining a large display with AI features, the function that impressed me the most is the built-in recording tool. It's incredibly useful for anyone who regularly attends meetings, takes notes, or needs to summarize videos. For example, you can keep a meeting recording or video playing on one part of the screen, open the recording feature underneath it, and still have WeChat or another app available for other tasks. While you're listening, the recorder captures the audio and transcribes everything in real time. It can even recognize different speakers automatically. Afterward, the AI helps organize everything by generating summaries and highlighting key insights. Whether you've just finished a meeting and need organized notes, or you're watching a long video and want a quick summary, the entire process becomes much easier because the AI has already done most of the work for you. At the end of the day, the biggest advantage of a foldable phone is still its large inner display, and that's exactly where the Vivo X Fold 6 shines. The feature that impressed me most wasn't simply the hardware, it was the brand new large-screen interaction system. It's intuitive, flexible, and incredibly smooth to use. Right now, I honestly think it's one of the most practical and efficient multitasking experiences available on a foldable phone. I've also heard that even more features could arrive in future software updates, so once those updates are released, I'll definitely test everything again and share my experience. Even if we put the multitasking capabilities and AI capabilities aside, this is still a very well-rounded smartphone. It offers all the flagship features you would expect. One of the biggest concerns people usually have with foldable phones, battery life, has also been addressed in this generation. Because of that, I really don't think the Vivo X Fold 6 has any major weaknesses. The only question left is the price. By the time you're watching this video, the official price has probably already been announced. Let me know what it is by leaving it in the comments. I want to see what everyone thinks. Of course, I still have a few hopes for the next generation. First, I'd love to see the display crease become even less noticeable. Second, I really like Vivo to add stylus support. In my opinion, a stylus is the perfect companion for a large-screen foldable. If you agree with me, just type 1 in the comments so maybe Vivo will notice. Let's see whether the Vivo X Fold 7 makes that happen. And with that, we've reached the end of my experience sharing with the Vivo X Fold 6. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel. As always, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more practical and interesting tech content. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Let me think about it one more time. We're still searching somewhere along the middle of this road. At both ends, it feels like we've lost our way. Every time the sunset covers everything in golden light, just look through that lens. It's absolutely breathtaking. We're still moving forward on this road, and we're still running.